Part 34. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 331. How dare she still dare to do this now? The uncle of the Shen family said, our whole family has drawn a clear line with her, and the Yan family has given up on her. Even if she comes out, she can't make waves. Not to mention your father's death bit her and won't let go. You go home and persuade Sisi to explain to your father that your brother and sister have turned against each other, and it's hard for him to explain it when he meets his ancestors. Qin Yan verbally agreed. Happiness blooms in my heart. He wished that the person who harmed his wife would die cleanly, so how could he possibly persuade him to do so? It is not easy to explain to the ancestors that it is the father-in-law's business. What does it have to do with yourself? At this time, the nurse walked out of the ward. If the family members have something to say, go outside and say it. Let everyone keep their mouths shut. Qin Yanxi stood with everyone for a while and prepared to leave. The nurse suddenly ran out and called the doctor. Everyone thought Mr. Shen was dying. They all crowded towards the ward, and Qin Yanxi followed Shen Zhengrong in. The doctor squeezed into the ward to examine Mr. Shen, and then placed the stethoscope on Mr. Shen's chest. Mr. Shen opened his eyes. Glazed eyes, searching everywhere. After a brief examination, the doctor said, the patient's condition has stabilized a lot, and we need to observe him next. If the family members have nothing else to do, please go out. Everyone walked out. When Mr. Shen saw Qin Yanxi, his dry eyes brightened up, and his voice was hoarse and unbelievable. Yanxi is here too. Everyone listened to the old man's words and stopped to watch. Qin Yanxi took the credit and said, she has been guarding you for a long time and just left. Thank you for your hard work, girl. How long have I been lying there? Mr. Shen felt weak all over. Qin Yanxi counted the time since Shen Ru was taken away. It's been 2 days. Did Sisi stay with me for 2 days? Well, she went home to rest when she was too tired, Qin Yanxi said. Shen Zhengrong's eyes twitched. He was sure that no one would refute, right? Sisi is so filial. If I really have an emergency in the future, I will leave my little treasury to her. Mr. Shen looked at everyone. Do you have any objections? No objection at this time. Who dares to have an opinion? Qin Yan resigned and declined politely. My father has arranged for my daughter-in-law to take the driver's license test, and she can support herself. Being a driver, how hard is it? My granddaughter deserves to be blessed. But my daughter-in-law said that instead of providing material help, it would be better to teach her how to make a living, Qin Yan said. He used to believe that women need to live dependent on men. But his wife is just the opposite. She is even able to support him. Fortunately, he is motivated, otherwise he would be a weakling. Mr. Shen nodded. You are worthy of being a descendant of my Shen family. Sisi is tougher and smarter than his other 3 grandsons. The 4th grandson arranged for 3 well-trained thugs, and she was able to dodge them. She is only 20 years old, but she already has such an ability to adapt to dangers. If born in the Shen family, with good cultivation, maybe the Shen family can be brought to a higher level. What a pity that a good seedling was lost. Qin Yanxi doesn't like to hear this. Shen Ru is also a member of your family. Why don't you show it and praise it? I'll ask you to go out now when I have something to say before I'm discharged from the hospital, the doctor said again. Everyone just walked out. When Qin Yanxi finally left the ward, Shen Zhengrong said, you are such a thief. You managed to get Grandpa's treasury for Sisi in just a few words. Do you know how rich Grandpa is? No one cares about you no matter how rich your grandfather is. My wife is not jealous, Qin Yanxi said in a disdainful tone. I'm jealous. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 332. So you are not as promising as my wife. Qin Yanxi strode away. Shen Zhengrong was unconvinced. Who is hopeless? Say it again. I only said that you are not as promising as my wife. When did I say that you have no future? If you insist on saying that, I can't help it. Shen Zhengrong, this sounds like I deserve a beating. Will Sisi come tomorrow? No, I will come here, just because I'm afraid of you. Qin Yanxi did not continue. His grandfather had just escaped from the gate of hell. He was too straightforward and inappropriate. I'm afraid your sister will have regrets. Do you admit that Sisi is my sister? Shen Zhengrong's eyes were bright. What's the use of admitting it? I can't care about my wife's opinions. Qin Yanxi would only support all his wife's opinions. Shen Zhengrong, he can't even control his wife, so he has no future. Qin Yanxi returned from the hospital. Ying Sisi had already washed herself and was leaning on the bedside reading a book, waiting for him. ACI, you're back. How is Grandpa Shen? I woke up and the doctor said I'm doing pretty well and I think I'll get over it. Ying Sisi also forgot about her worries. Excuse me, I made some tea for you. She picked up the thermos cup on the head of the bed and handed it to him. Qin Yanxi had a dry mouth, so he took a tentative sip. The temperature was just right, so he drank half of it in one breath. Your grandfather said that one day he will leave, and the small treasury will be left to you. What do you want? I don't want it. Qin Yanxi said, as for Shen it is said that your father is biting her and won't let go. Judging from Uncle Shen's tone, your father wants to kill her. Really? That's so kind of him. My mother is so overwhelmed that she can be considered a little comfort. But as an older brother, he and his sister are dead and gone. The Shen family should not be able to tolerate him. At least 100 years later, he will not be able to enter the ancestral grave. If he doesn't marry and I die behind him, I can no longer accept him as a father. Isn't it the same if my descendants can worship him? Qin Yan's words sounded very ominous. What's the matter with immortality? You are immortal. Immortal, then you can only stay with me for 100 years at most. Then after you leave, I will find another one. Qin Yanxi's face turned dark. Ying Sisi quickly threw away the book and hugged him. I was joking, don't be angry. You have to make it up to me. Qin Yanxi lowered his eyes and stared at her chest. Ying Sisi let go of him and said sincerely, how do you want to compensate? As long as you are not angry, anything will do. Really, then I want you. Ying Sisi, she noticed something was wrong with his gaze and followed his gaze and lowered her head, only to see that her collar was wide open. She quickly covered her head. A scheming man. Deliberately tricked her into taking advantage of him. The next day, Ying Sisi didn't wake up until 9:30. She was the only one left in the room when she got up, with a message on the bedside. Daughter-in-law, I have gone to class. See you in the afternoon. Ying Sisi put away the message, got up, brushed her teeth and washed, rushed to the vegetable market and bought 2 kilograms of beef and ingredients, and went home to make beef sauce. I was busy until the afternoon making the sauce. 6 bottles in total. She took out 2 bottles, packed them, wrote a letter, and sent them to the uncle together with yesterday's gifts. After completing the task, bring a bottle to visit the old lady. Grandma, Grandma. My name is Hunter. The old lady came out of a house at the end of the corridor and approached and said, I asked you not to come to see me all the time. If you still come, don't you have something to do on your own? Ying Sisi smiled good-naturedly, I made beef sauce for you to try. The gifts at my house are almost piled up. It's just right you can take some with you. Ying Sisi, who gave it to me? Please vote. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash Marriage of the Era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 333. The old lady smiled and cleared her throat. Who else could it be besides your own father? Ying Cixi glanced at her and looked at the open door. Nutrients were piled up on the wall. What do I need from you? Why do I need his things? He has to give it away, so I can't throw it away, right? And here, he is also a poor person. I think back then, your father was so young, handsome, tall, and outstanding. He would go out without wearing a mask. The whole street has to be blocked by big girls. What do you mean, hinting that my mother favors him? The old lady stopped her smile and denied it seriously. Don't misinterpret it. I just think it's not easy for your father to be so good, but his relationship has so many twists and turns. Your mother, like you, is a very good girl. She is very handsome, respects the elders, and sympathizes with the weak, so I feel sorry for her. She once thought that Shen Yushan ran away after playing. It's not worth it for Xian. How to know? Why? Mother Nature plays tricks on people. Didn't you teach me that life is full of regrets? Old lady, I didn't teach you to deny your father. She poured a cup of tea for Ying Cixi and said softly, if you don't like to hear it, I won't say it next time. Ying Cixi silently picked up the teacup and drank water, which was regarded as accepting the old lady's apology. The old lady opened the beef sauce and smelled it. It smells so good. I bought pancakes this morning, and I'm going to eat them with beef sauce these days. When will I go back to the south? I have lived here for half a month, and I miss my own farm a little bit. Small courtyard. Aren't you quite used to living here? I'm more used to my hometown. I can see the beautiful scenery as soon as I step out. The beautiful scenery here is kept in the garden and you can only see it if you pay a fee. Ying Cixi told the truth, my business has not been done well, and I don't plan to go back to my hometown recently. I heard from a CI that the weather here only starts to get hot in July. At that time, no matter what the business is, I will send you home. Do you think it's okay? The old lady accommodated herself and said, okay. She asked with concern, have you encountered any difficulties in the transaction? Is there anything I can do to help? I can handle it myself, I don't need your help. Ying Cixi suddenly remembered something, and her father-in-law said that the higher UPS were starting to study how to divide the fields into households. Several pilot projects have been selected. If this thing is implemented, the villagers will fight for the territory with bloodshed, right? She had to fight for a piece of fertile land for the old lady and take this opportunity to take care of her aunt. Thinking of this, she said, are you worried that if you don't work during the busy farming period, the village will not share your food? When I leave, I will store a few 100 kilograms for you and keep it for you until the new year. Don't do it. The countryside is no better than the city. If you put too many good things at home, I will be in trouble. The old lady has seen through the habits of the people in the village. I hope you are well, but you cannot really be well. She went to the city and came back completely changed. I don't know how many people are jealous. At such an old age, how can I withstand other people's mischief? She said worriedly, your uncle and aunt know about it, and they want to spread it everywhere. You can't understand it? One day, I get more and more angry, and my whole family goes to the city to look for you. I bump into Li Junlu and the two sides talk nonsense. Is that okay? Let's talk about it after they collect the travel expenses. Ying Cixi was not afraid at all. It is better to go into the city. She made it impossible for them to come back. I've been in Beijing for so long and I haven't met your parents-in-law yet. When can we arrange a meeting? The old lady asked proactively. They mentioned a few days ago that something was delayed. Ying Cixi did not tell the old lady about her recent experience. Let's do it this weekend. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 334. It's almost time. I have to get ready, but I can't embarrass you. The old lady began to arrange her clothes, took out an older fashion and said, "How about this one? It's decent and suitable for my age. Ying Sisi, you will look good in whatever you wear." The old lady couldn't help but be happy. She was glib. She said yes to the banquet speech, but said to me, "It's an exaggeration." "How old am I?" "I'm a pretty baller." Ying Sisi lowered her eyelashes gently. There were two people in her family, a CI, so it was hard to use sweet words. "Because now I am talking to this one, and after that one wakes up, I have to ask her again, SISI, do you think it is pleasing to my eyes if I wear glasses, or do I not wear them? Do you like me to wear glasses or not?" When two people are intimate, he will also say whether he behaves better when he wears glasses or not. She was strange before. It's okay to ask questions at ordinary times, but why did I start asking in bed? I didn't expect them to be two people at all. The questions she asked were comparisons and competitions. When I think of this, I feel uncomfortable all over. She raised her eyes and looked at the old lady. "Grandma, if you were the same age as me, and there were two men with the same looks and good family backgrounds, each with their own advantages, which one would you choose?" The old lady blurted out, "How difficult is it to choose? I want both." "Ying Sisi, I can only choose one. Both are needed. Men can have so many women, why can't we women have a few more men?" "Ying Sisi, didn't you say that the best love is between two people for a lifetime? Special circumstances are special treatment." "What? Whose young man is obsessed with you regardless of your status as a married woman? Has it made you distressed? Look at how worried you are," the old lady teased. "Ying Sisi, I just asked casually." The old lady was very gossipy. "Really? You have to be careful when encountering this kind of thing. Don't let Yancy be overly worried. Of course, if Yancy is sorry for you one day, you can contact another liaison. Let Yancy I know that even if you are married, you are still charming." "Ying Sisi, can't you teach me something?" "I'm just teaching you. I'm teaching you not to put all your feelings on men. You and Yancy I just got married, which is when the relationship is at its best. As time goes by, the relationship will slowly change. When it fades, conflicts will arise, and you will inevitably be troubled by it. It's better to have a child while you're young." SISI in the dream, the child was born too late. "I am busy with work and have no time to take care of it, so I leave it to the banquet." The gloomy atmosphere brought about by the banquet speech is scary to look at, and it lacks the innocence and cuteness that a child should have. Ying Sisi listened to the sentence about making money. "Yeah, I'm just thinking about it." "That's good." The old lady stopped teasing her and changed the subject. "By the way, have Ding Xia's things been sent to you?" Ying Sisi was extremely angry when she heard Ding Xia's name. She complained about receiving Polygonum multiflorum twice. "I should have listened to you and not interfered with her affairs." The old lady smiled and said, "If you don't listen to the old man's advice, you will suffer a lot." Yes, Ying Sisi regretted her mistake. Ding Xia, who was mentioned by Ying Sisi, received the money sent back by Yan Jing. It was discovered that the money was not sent in the name of Ying Sisi, but by a person named Feng Shuangzi. She found Wang's Hejian with the receipt. The money was sent by a person named Feng Shuangzi, not SISI. Don't we need to report SISI? Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 335. How can we get the bonus if we don't report her? Wang's Hejian said. But Sisi helped me, and I treat her like this. Ding Xia was extremely conflicted in her heart. She had such a good life when she went to the city, and she didn't say that she would take you with her. People in your village said that the old woman at the foot of the mountain has disappeared. I suspect that she followed Ying Sisi into the city to enjoy her life. She didn't take you with her even if she took the old woman with her. It's obvious that he looks down on you and me. What kind of sisterhood do you care about for such unloyal people? Wang Zhejian took the receipt and was about to ask the brother who gave him the idea. Can the money sent by others be credited to Ying Sisi? Have a run. Got a negative reply. The consignee and the person who sent the money must be the same person so that I can report it to the police. Now that the two are separated, the fact that you sold the goods is established. Wang Zhejian was so frightened that he sat on the ground. What do you mean? You won't arrange for someone to arrest me, right? Isn't it okay to arrest you? But the payment for your goods is stolen money and must be handed over, the man said with ill intentions. Wang Zhejian reacted and was stood up, and murmured, how can there be such a thing? That's the rule, take it. Wang Zhejian didn't earn a penny and paid for postage. He was angry, anxious, and helpless. He thought that Ying Sisi saw through his face and deliberately set a trap for him. He ran home angrily and threw fire on Ding Xia's head. Ding Xia was so aggrieved that she shed tears after being punched. Wang Zhejian lost 10 yuan in vain and said unwillingly, you can send another 20 kilograms to Ying Sisi. Last time she said she didn't want your goods, why didn't she take it and pay you? Sisi emphasized that this is the last time I have been her sister for so many years and know her well, she will definitely not give us money again. If we don't go to Beijing to look for her, everyone will know that she collects mountain goods. I don't believe that she is not afraid. How can we have travel expenses? I have my own way. Wang Zhejian finally convinced Ding Xia. Ding Xia silently apologized in her heart, Sisi, I'm sorry. Ying Sisi, who was far away in Yanjing, sat with the old lady until the evening, and stayed after dinner before leaving. Next to the door of the house, hearing faint crying in the room, identified the voice as belonging to Lu Yuechun. Why did the bad woman come to her house? ACI is at home. She took out her key and opened the door. There are not only Lu Yuechun in the family, but also Lu's parents, as well as his parents-in-law's family of 4. The small living room is completely occupied. She stood at the entrance to change her shoes, and Qin Yanci noticed her. Daughter-in-law, you are back. Have you eaten? Eat it. What is this? Let's talk about divorce, Qin Yanci said directly. Ying Sisi was speechless. She came here to talk about the divorce, making it clear that her husband and wife were at odds with each other. Qin Yanjun is not happy, brat, he is afraid that Sisi will not misunderstand that the two of them are the old ones, right? He corrected, they came to apologize, but I happened to bump into them, so they changed to talking about divorce. Qin Yanci sneered, hey, can't we reach an agreement in the courtyard? Qin Yanjun, I am not just trying to give you justice, I want to implement this matter quickly. What do you mean by that? You guys talk, my wife and I went to bed. Qin Yanci hugged Ying Sisi and walked indoors. Ying Sisi, I know you don't take your parents seriously, but you can't be so dismissive, right? As a daughter-in-law, there was no room for her to talk here. She greeted her parents-in-law, Mom and Dad, you guys can talk, I'll excuse you now. As soon as Ying Sisi and Qin Yanci walked to the bedroom door, Lu Yuechun ran forward and knelt down with a plop. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 336. Banquet speech, Sisi, I know I was wrong, please forgive me this time. I promise, I will never embarrass you again. Lu Yuechun's eyes were filled with tears, and his posture was extremely low. Qin Yanci, I've given you many opportunities. For the last time, I promise to live a peaceful life. Father Qin and Mother Qin looked over. Lu's father and Lu's mother's eyes were full of heartache. "Yu Chun, Yue Chun is like this, what else do you want? Besides, Yue Chun jumped into the river, and you were reported in the newspaper, so you can count as a benefit. He only found out today that the person who saved Yue Chun was Yan Si. He was so angry that he didn't eat for a whole day. Qin Yansi, this kid, is too evil-minded. It was definitely because he recognized Yue Chun that he chose to go into the river. Now you have both fame and fortune. Only his family, Yue Chun, was harmed." Yang Sisi was the first to retort, "Are you saying that I didn't have good intentions in saving your daughter?" "Father Lu, I didn't mean that." Yang Sisi, "Then why did you bring this matter up? If you didn't mention it, and I didn't even know that the person we rescued at that time was your daughter. If we had known better, we wouldn't have saved it. We smelled it all night the first day, Miss Yang. I came out of the hospital feeling very weak, and the water in the river was cold. If we hadn't been in good health, we might have been sick for a few days." Lu's father was stunned for a moment when he was attacked. Lu Mu said, "We want to say that you two are kind-hearted. The adults will not forget the mistakes of the villains and spare Yue Chun. Our whole family can guarantee that Yue Chun will not make the same mistake next time." "What guarantee do you have?" "With your lives, the future of your old Lu family. If you swear to God, if your daughter targets the banquet again in the future, you too will go to the 18th level of after death. You old people, the Lu family is getting worse and worse with each generation. We will forgive you." Yang Sisi looked directly at Lu's mother. Lu Mu was so angry that she leaned back. "Little hoof. What a vicious heart." Lu's father's blood pressure kept rising. You, he pointed at Sisi for a long time, "but you didn't say anything." Lu Yue Chun was also dumbfounded. Who dares to swear such a vicious oath? Especially her parents, who have reached an age where they believe in destiny. Doesn't this passage poke a hole in their hearts? Yang Sisi snorted coldly, "Don't you dare to say it. It means that your low-down and petty measures are just a temporary measure. I have read the 36 stratagems. You must first obtain our understanding, then stop all activities, and then slowly implement it. My ACI has a pure nature, how can he stand up to your cunning tactics?" Lu's father and Lu's mother, Qin Yansi has a pure and good nature? He is an innocent fart. Who among you is more sophisticated than you two bastards? Speaking of it, it seems to be a very evil thing. His words can still have some effect even if they are used on Qin Yanjun. It just happened to be the speech of the Qin dynasty. There is absolutely no room for him to play. In order not to get divorced, he gritted his teeth and agreed, I swear. Lu's father just wanted to raise his finger to the sky. "Wait a minute." Yang Sisi went back to her room and found a small incense burner, placed a statue of the on it, and then lit 3 incense sticks. "I can swear." Qin Yanjun was shocked and frightened. This dead girl. Everyone opposed feudal superstition and even demolished temples. She is doing well. Make a small temple at home. He secretly wiped the sweat from his head and said, "What kind of is this? Come back to Dad, where is the god of wealth?" Yang Sisi changed the subject. "Uncle Lu, if you tell half a lie, future generations will have no money to spend." Father of Lu, ... Please vote. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 337. Everyone's eyes were fixed on Lu's father. Father Lu did not raise his hand for a long time. Qin Yanjun urged, "Lao Lu, you swear, why don't you swear? Are you afraid of backlash? If you don't swear, let's discuss the divorce in detail." Father Lu raised his hand, his movements were trembling, and he couldn't help but stammered, Lu Ping, yes, I swear to the gods, will ensure that the eldest daughter Lu Yuechun stays in her own right from now on, and will never target Yan Si and Sisi. If there is a violation, I. A shadow formed in Lu Yuechun's heart. She didn't believe it. She could tell it herself, but she couldn't let her family members tell it. She interrupted, Qin Jin, my father has sworn this oath, how embarrassing will it be for the two families to meet in the future? Qin Yanjun, what's so embarrassing about this? A prodigal son can't change his mind for money. You know your mistakes and can correct them, so you can do better. It's not too late for your mother and I to be happy. To be honest, I don't want Qin Jin to divorce. Once this matter is implemented, what will happen to him, reputation and future are somewhat affected. Finally, I said it from my heart while Qin Yan was halfway through his words when Ying Sisi covered his mouth. At this juncture, stop talking. Time and time again, parents cannot get off the stage. Has it been spread out by the parents of the Lu family, others are not allowed to say that you are disrespectful? She said, Dad is right. My eldest brother has also shouldered a lot, but this is all your fault, sister-in-law. How do you say that? It is the son's fault if he does not teach his father. Your father's oath was made for you. If he has a filial piety, he should change his mind and start a new life, so that his hard work will not be in vain. She looked at Father Lu, Uncle Lu, there is a 3 feet above your head. Please pay full attention when you swear and finish it in one breath. Half of what you said is disrespectful to the gods. If we were in our hometown, it would be really taboo. Lu Mu gritted her teeth and wanted to tear Ying Sisi apart. Little hooves. He is full of conspiracies and intrigues. Father Lu was equally angry, but now that he could no longer deny it, he could only make a solemn oath in accordance with Sic's request. The sound falls. The first person to breathe a sigh of relief was Qin Jin. In this case, he wouldn't need to divorce, right? Lu's father said, is this the banquet speech? Qin Yansi, for the sake of my eldest brother and my nephews, I have to do it even if I don't do it. I have been wronged a little, so I won't do it again. When Lu's father and Lu's mother heard this, they were filled with hatred. He has taken so much advantage. He actually said he was wronged. Be good and behave when you get a bargain. Shameless youngster. Looking at the clean and tidy living room, he had an opinion, it's better to get married late and have a new house to live in. Unlike my Yuechun family, who has been living with you 2 old people. 3 generations can't live in one house. Young people don't understand. Don't you old people understand? Qin Yanjun said unhappily, you mean, we move out? Leave the courtyard to the boss's family. Father Lu, that's exactly what I meant. Qin Yanjun was annoyed, you made arrangements for me before I died? That's what you meant. Don't you have 3 generations living in one house? You understand, it's not us who are sorry for your daughter, but you my daughter harmed my son, making it seem like your girl is feeling wronged in our family. Father of Lu, Lu's mother is equal to Lu's father. Father Lu said with a stern expression, what I mean is that there will be less conflicts if we live separately. Qin Yanjun glanced at Lu's father coldly and said to Qin Jin, what do you think? Qin Jin glanced at Qin Yansi and Ying Sisi. The relationship between a couple who lived separately from their parents could indeed be better, right? I also agree with separation. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 338. Qin Yanjun is very disappointed. After living together for so many years, he thinks he has done his best, so he is not needed now. Are you going to separate? Okay. I'll make arrangements for you. Qin's mother disagreed, what are the arrangements? How good is it for the whole family to live together? When Xiajin and Yuechun leave, don't the children also have to go with them? Can they take care of them? She added. The children just stay with us so that auntie can take care of you. The child is not at home, and the two old ones are guarding such a big house. What's the point? When Father Lou heard this, he felt confident instantly. Said that the divorce was so smooth, he thought they were willing to give birth to children. Now he had to look for a sense of presence from Lao Qin. He said, how can a child not live with his parents and grandparents? Qin Yanjun, yes, you are absolutely right. How can a child not live with his parents but with his grandparents? Take the children away. For the sake of fairness, the house prepared for you will be as big as the one used for the banquet. How can we live here? Father Lou was reluctant. Qin Yanjun, why can't we live in it? A dormitory in the university can accommodate 6 people. Such a big house is more than enough for a family of 6. Father Lou said with an old blood, this is not possible. You can go out and tell us if it's okay. Qin Yan resigned and issued an order to expel the guests. Qin Yanjun glanced over and said in a cautious tone, are you and Sci coming back to live? Qin Yanci was about to deny it. Yang Sisi responded quickly, okay, I'm willing to live with you. My parents-in-law go to work. The children are not at home. Qin Yanci left her alone. She can play with her hair growth cream as much as she likes. The most important thing is that the large kitchen of the courtyard house has an earthen stove. One pot can cook as much as 5 pots in the family courtyard. And the family members and the people in the hospital are many-eyed and miscellaneous. Wouldn't it be troublesome once her behavior was discovered? Mother Qin's mentality finally became more balanced. When you have a baby, I will take care of it for you. Qin Yanci did not express his position. But he was thinking in his heart that his wife knew his secret but did not reveal it. It is obvious that they exist at the same time. If he insists not, the other person will. What she was pregnant with was another person's child. From then on, the 3 of them lived happily together. What should he do? He couldn't tolerate it. Yang Sisi prevaricated, we are planning. Father Lou watched helplessly as Qin Yanjun's face turned from gloomy to clear. He glanced sideways at Sisi and secretly cursed, bitch, take advantage of others' danger. Qin Yanjun, that's it? Let's go back first. You two should rest early. Et. Qin Yanjun took him out. Mother of Qin followed. Qin and Jin pulled Lu Yuechun. Only Lu's father and Lu's mother were left in the house. Yang Sisi removed the incense burner and the portrait. Uncle and aunt, aren't you leaving yet? What are you looking at? Don't even think about reporting me. Firstly, I won't admit it. Secondly, I am a nut storer, not an incense burner. She snuffed out the incense and poured out the ashes. Put the melon seeds on the plate into it. 3 times, we are the only ones who know about this matter. If anyone spreads it, my parents will know it. And you will comply with your oath against me, right? Hey, listening to you swearing for the future of your descendants, I feel like Mao. Fortunately you are not my father, otherwise I would have to sever ties. Father of Lu, dot. Lu Mu pointed at her. Photographed by Qin Yanci, as soon as you forgive your daughter, you kick her nose in the face, right? Lu Mu, dot. The old couple went downstairs holding their stomachs full of anger. Qin Yanci closed the door. Yang Sisi said, ACI, would you blame me for making my own decisions? He always respected her opinions and never made decisions for her. Where is she? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 339. Qin Yanci said calmly, if you think about it carefully, you are right. If Qin Jin is really divorced, Every time he sees other people's husbands and wives being harmonious and their families happy, he will think of the divorce. Over time, he will inevitably feel resentful towards me. I feel more relieved that you think so. Besides, we have to go back to live in the courtyard. Yang Cixi explained her plan. When business is liberalized in the future, I will build a factory for production, so I won't have to hide. Let go? Did Lao Qin say that? Qin Yanci couldn't believe it. I said it myself. Have you read the recent newspapers? Many meetings on development have been held, and the ports of coastal cities have been opened to the outside world. Yang Cixi predicted that Yanjing, as the capital, will not be open until the time not far away either. If the sale of hair growth cream is not good, when the time comes, she will use all her savings to open a small restaurant. People regard food as their first priority. You can definitely open a restaurant. Qin Yanci praised, you are very far-sighted. Yang Cixi smiled brightly, this is the general trend, not a far-sighted one. The next day, Qin Yanci went out to study, and Yang Cixi went to the department store to sell some of her homemade hair growth cream. She calls herself a salesperson of the manufacturer. When others hear this, they wave their hands. Have a good attitude and reject her on the grounds that she has a fixed supply of goods. Those who have a bad attitude will bluntly say that her products are fake. Because the real manufacturer will not go out to sell it. The whole morning has passed. If a business is not successful, you will receive countless looks. This made her a little discouraged. She said silently, why is it so difficult to do business? Go back and continue to be a bad guy? Sell ingredients to Lao Zhao? It doesn't seem like there's much potential. After running for a long time, I feel hungry. Went to a steamed bun shop and bought 2 big steamed buns and a bottle of Western-style water, and sat on the roadside to eat. Just took a bite. Hands are empty. I looked up for a moment, and saw that the bun was snatched away by a homeless man. The other party ran away and took off his shoes. I have hands and feet, so what can I do? Snatch a woman's buns and eat them. Deserves to be homeless. Son of a bitch, she cursed. Yang Cixi was about to enter the restaurant to eat, and then he took a step forward and was stopped by someone. Cixi. Yang Cixi turned around and saw Shen Yushan. Sitting in the car, a pair of peach blossom eyes seemed to be filled with mist. He opened the door and made a show of getting out of the car. Yang Cixi turned her head and didn't look at him. Shen Yushan paused, closed the car door, and said to the person in front of him, stop the car ahead. Hey, okay. Shen Yushan got out of the car again and strode back. Finally, I entered a noodle shop. My eyes paused and fell on the middle left side. The little girl was holding a black bag, her face flushed. He lowered his eyelashes and didn't know what he was thinking. Si. Yang Cixi raised her eyelashes, what are you doing? What did you order? I haven't eaten yet, can I accompany you? Yang Cixi remained silent. Shen Yushan took her acquiescence, sat opposite her, and ordered a bowl of wontons. At this time, Yang Cixi's small wontons were served, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but raise slightly. Does she also like to eat wontons? Yang Cixi held the chopsticks without moving. Shen Yushan looked at her like this, why don't you eat? Yang Cixi, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, I don't care. Shen Yushan was quiet for a moment and continued to chatter, you went out today and didn't ride a bike. Yang Cixi remained silent. Her little white bike is too eye-catching, and the bicycle backpack and sales promotion easily attract others' attention. Shen Yushan waited for the small wontons to be served before eating them, and glanced at her from the corner of his eye. She just started to move at this time. Eating in small bites, you must be hungry. Flash marriage of the era. Married to a crazy husband who amazes everyone. Author, Yuan. Chapter 340. She ate a little quickly. She did not acknowledge him, but waited for him to eat first before using her chopsticks. His daughter, so polite, suffered so much. Ying Sisi put down her chopsticks after finishing her meal and did not leave. Shen Yuxian knew that she was waiting for him to finish eating. If he doesn't eat, she has to leave immediately, right? He asked the shopkeeper to add another bowl. He said deliberately, "Si, aren't you leaving?" Ying Sisi looked at him and snorted coldly. Shen Yuxian said, "What good things do you have in your bag? It's full of stuff." Ying Sisi took out a jar and said, "Shampoo, mint flavor. Here it is for you. Wash it twice a week. Eat it quickly." She wanted to leave. But he is an elder and this is a fact that cannot be changed. If she doesn't want to see him anymore, she must not lose her due etiquette. Because she had to let him know that she was taught well by her grandparents. Shen Yuxian was in a good mood instantly, and his daughter gave him a gift. Died immediately with a peaceful eye. He smiled and said, "As I get older, I eat quickly and it's not easy to digest." Ying Sisi didn't talk to her. "You have so much in your bag." "Ying Sisi, stop asking." Shen Yuxian had no choice but to keep his mouth shut. He felt hot while eating, so he rolled up his sleeves. The scar on the arm attracted Ying Sisi's attention. Deep and long. Because the skin is white. The scar is a little red. His scar is actually in the same position as a C's. No wonder her captors showed fear when they saw the scars on a Chi's wrist. He is so famous that everyone knows about the scars on his arms. She pursed her lips and said, "Grandma said, your skills are very powerful, why are you still injured?" It was the first time that Shen Yuxian saw Ying Sisi take the initiative to talk to him, and he replied seriously, "There are people out there. In the missions I went on when I was young, my opponents were all very powerful people, so injuries are inevitable." He paused, changed the subject, "I'll take you home later." "I don't want to take your car," Ying Sisi said directly. "Shen Yuxian, I'll see you off on foot." "No need, hurry up and eat." Ying Sisi waited impatiently. Shen Yuxian had to hurry up and just put down his chopsticks. "I'm leaving first." Ying Sisi stood up without looking back. Shen Yuxian sighed secretly. "Why is the happy time always so short? It is the same when I am with Xian, and it is still the same when I am with my daughter." Ying Sisi took a ride to the next sales point and talked a lot, and finally a shop was willing to buy her goods. But he only agreed to pay 30% of the purchase price. And ask for a written certificate if it is not easy to sell. 3 days later she returned the money and took away the goods. Ying Sisi agreed. 30%, which is almost the cost price of materials. Even if there is no follow-up, she only loses one person's labor. Acceptable. 12 jars were brought out and 1 jar was given away. Hand over all 11 cans, we only get $4.95. And the money may not entirely belong to her. Heart tired. But no matter what, I have to continue making hair growth cream. Ying Sisi purified the fragrant flowers after returning home. Just put the extracted essence into the bottle. Qin Yancy came in from the outside and felt dizzy and uncomfortable smelling the scent of knotweed. "Daughter-in-law, why do you smell this again?" Ying Sisi opened the window for ventilation. "I forgot." "Please be patient." Qin Yancy couldn't bear it anymore, so he put down his book and went out. "I'm going to get some fresh air." Ying Sisi didn't understand, even though they were two people. But the body is one. How can the sense of smell be different? About a quarter of an hour later, Ying Sisi lit the mugwort to ensure that there was only the fragrance of mugwort leaves in the room, and then went downstairs to call Qin Yan's speech. She stood at the top of the stairs and looked around. "Where are the people? Please vote."